Hello. Yeah. Hi, students. This is Dr. Mirza. I am back here with my next video for this chapter process focus. Let us get started here with the next slide on 22 key service dimensions, that is to understand the pure service processes that are frequently designed around the five key service dimensions, that is the key service dimensions that is inclusive of reliability, assurance, tangibles, empathy, and responsiveness. Now, designing a service essentially involves determining an effective reliability or effective balance of physical facility, processes, and procedures, employee behaviors, that is, and professional judgment. So, what happens is the service differs in three different ways, as you can see here. The three different ways, that is, the three dimensions, that is, customers, contact, and interaction. Then we have the labor intensity and customization. Service low in all three dimensions of this classifications are more similar to manufacturing organizations. Services high in this dimensions require more focus on employee behavior and professional judgment. That is, as the customer expectations or needs changes, organizations must design a process that are increasingly agile. What I mean here by agile is, now in this next slides, if you can see, the design of agility which we can talk about, or agile, which here actually is a term that is commonly used to characterize flexibility and short cycle time. I repeat, that characterizes or particularly agility is the term that is commonly used to characterize flexibility and short cycle times. Flexibility refers to the ability to adapt quickly and effectively to changing environments. It might mean rapid changeovers from one product to another product, as you can see over here. Example, rapid changeover from one product to another product, or rapid changes to changing demands, the ability to produce a wide range of customized services. So, agility is crucial to such customized, focused strategies as customization or mass customization. But the key questions for service, that is, for service process design, would be required for a particular in and all on a final result of service to be provided. Service beginning, what signals is the completion, maximum waiting time customers will tolerate, how long or how will it take to perform the service, and completing the service, and essential, desirable, superfluous, which components can differ from one service encounter to another while still meeting standards. Now, moving on, in the chapter, we have some important area of mistake proofing. Mistake proofing is nothing but it is a particular term called as poker-yuki. To define poker-yuki, it's an approach of particular mistake proofing process using automatic devices or methods to avoid simple human error. I repeat, an approach for mistake proofing process using automatic devices or methods to avoid simple human errors. It might consist of designing potential errors out of a process, identifying potential, particularly defects, and stopping a process before the defect is produced, or finding a defect that enter or leave a process. So, To learn more, we will be seeing in this on particularly based on predictions and errors through control system later in this chapter. But let me tell you predictions on how Pokayuki mistake proofing can be done. That is, a typical reasons for mistake proofing, as I told you, would be the forgetfulness due to lack of reinforcement or guidance, misunderstanding or incorrect identification because of lack of familiarity with the process or procedures, lack of experience when a person takes in that particular experience of that particular process. You can have lot of examples given over there in the textbook. Like even in a process we can see some examples of process of even how a mistake proofing process, like you have a password for an email. When you have a mistake, re-enter your password, or that kind of process what we are talking about here. Absent-mindedness and lack of attention, especially when a process is automated also. Preventing mistakes. Now, how does this happen? Designing a potential defect and errors out of the process. Identifying potential defects and errors and stopping a process before they occur. I repeat, stopping a process before they occur. Third point, identifying defects and errors soon after they occur and quickly correcting the process results in some scrap, rework, and wasted resources. This is another problem with such kind of mistake preventing process. Now moving here, as you can see many examples given here. If the question comes to you about asked about Pokayuki, like for example, you can give these examples: a device drill counts number of holes drilled in a work piece, computer program displaying a warning message, a file that has not been saved, password for a web account, orders for critical aircraft parts, associates at Amazon, sort products, and so on and so forth. Now, types of service errors: task errors, treatment errors, tangible errors. Now, service errors could be very much depending on the kind of service. Now, students, you should be more careful which kind of service you are talking about to understand the task or the error or the treatment or the tangible errors, as you can see it over here. And the types like customer errors in preparation, customer errors during an encounter, customer errors at the resolution stage of a service encounter. You can just read all of them and prepare yourself accordingly. But this topic is very important as per your syllabus. Process control, which is given as per my knowledge for week 9, which we could not do it as much because of the unrealistic issues that happened. But here, process control is a very important part of the syllabus, which talks about the activity of ensuring conformance to requirements and taking corrective action when necessary to correct problems and maintain stable performance. That is as far as any particular control is concerned. Now, control is different from improvement. We will be seeing that how it is different. Now, let me tell you how more control, the activity of ensuring conformance to the requirements, will be like able to emphasize on the foundations of organization of learning. Many organizations conduct an after action review or briefing or debriefing that consists of understanding what is supposed to happen, what actually happened, why, where, or there might have been a difference, and what could have been learned from the experience. To encourage understanding and development of documented control procedures, which are often usually written down in a process control plan, in order to provide a clear understanding of how the appropriate equipment and the requirements of those working environment methods monitoring and controlling them, that is through different ways of how the processes goes on. That is the elements of control. Any control system has four elements: a standard of goal, a means of measuring accomplishment, a comparison of results with standard to provide feedback, and the ability to make corrections as appropriate. You know, even there are some importances of how the control system, which has its own importance over a continuous improvement, which we will be seeing in the slide later on. But to encourage this, the importance of written down standard sample of illustrations and maintenance activities are very, very important. This is one more example which is given in your textbook, Coral Springs, Florida. You can check this in your textbook and read it. Control and improvement. If you check this, control should be the basis of organization. Learning and lead to improvements and prevention of defects and errors. In any particular process, if you see, we have to understand controlling it and then improving it. After action reviews, what was supposed to happen, what actually happened, why was there a difference, what we can learn from this particular process. Now, process control in manufacturing. A control is usually applied in incoming material, that is, incoming materials, raw materials, key process, and final product, that is the output that comes in, or a particular service, that is the output. Effective quality control systems include documented procedures, all key processes, a clear understanding of the appropriate equipment and working conditions under which monitoring, controlling critical quality characteristics, approval of processes of equipment, criteria of workmanship such as written standards, samples or illustrations, and maintenance activities. But here, if you see the effective control system, how documented procedure for all key processes, that is clear understanding of appropriate equipment, working environment, monitoring and controlling critical quality characteristics, approval process of equipment, workmanship again, written standards, samples or illustrations, and maintenance activities. So this all in brings the whole importance of the process of a control. The most important example given in the textbook here, you can see the Ritz-Carlton Hotel example, or the Ritz-Carlton Hotel Company. You can check out in your textbook for the process control in services. I repeat, in services example, which will give you a clear control about critical success factor control for critical processes, that is, measurements to determine quality, speed, and cost performance. I repeat, the measurements to determine quality, speed, and cost performance. So just read this particular example also. Now, talking about process improvement, let me tell you the Deming's view of process improvement, which talks about the concept, that is, which refers to both incremental change, which are small and gradual, and breakthrough improvements, which are large and rapid. I repeat, to explore the concept of continuous improvement for Deming, for a process improvement, I repeat, if you can see the diagram, first let me make you understand what is the process improvement. If you see on the left side, the processes, that is suppliers and materials and equipments of A, B, and C and D, and then we have the receipts and test of materials and the production, assembly, inspection. These are the three stations of the processes that has happened. This processes, that is test of processes, if you see here, I am just trying to show my cursor, three processes, machines, methods of course, which gives into an output a distribution to the consumers. That is, it might be many ways, that is, then a consumer researcher, as per Deming's theory, improvement is required when the feedback comes in from the consumer, that is about the feel, the design, and how the product looks, and then it is again reconceived on the process of the production system for a improvement. Now the continuous improvement refers to both incremental changes, which are small gradual, breakthrough improvements, which are large and rapid. Process improvement should be viewed, that is an opportunity, that is as an opportunity, not simply an action to problems. In this proper way, we have some important examples also about one Japanese philosopher, Kaizen, that is the Japanese philosopher of quality improvement, who used all areas of business to make small, frequent, and gradual improvements over the long term. A Kaizen for Blitz, which is the intense and rapid improvement process in which a team or a department throws all its resources into improvement project over a short time period. Here, the continuous improvement is important, as you can see, because the driven by the delivered value, delivered by business processes, sustained success in competitive market, and then so and so forth in value creation and continuous improvement in value creation process. But the learning, as you can see here, which talks about the particular understanding why changes are successful through feedback and between practices and results leading to new goals and approaches. I see this. This is the area I'm talking about, learning and then the feedback and approaches. That is new goals and approaches. That is planning. A learning cycle consists of 4 stages: execution, assessment of progress, revision of plans based on assessment findings. As I told you about the Kaizen, a Japanese word that means gradually and orderly continuous improvement. So focus on gradual and focus on frequent improvements over a long term with minimum financial investments and participation by everyone in the organization for an improvement. So here I talked about Kaizen, Blitz also, and intense rapid. I told you about this also, you can read it. An intense and rapid improvement process in which a team or a department throws all its resources into an improvement project over a short time period, as opposed to traditional Kaizen application which are performed as a part-time basis. So remember this if it was asked in your examinations. So the breakthrough improvements and then benchmarking. Benchmarking is nothing the search of industry's best practices that lead to superior performances. Best practices are approach that produce exceptional results, are usually innovative in terms of use of technology or human resource, and are recognized by customers or industry experts. And in types of benchmarking, the things would any person would like to know is how could they make a benchmarking competitive or a process benchmarking, that is studying the products or business results, or then making it more in terms of having it in a process the most effective on the organization that performs similar functions no matter in what industry. So now re-engineering, you can, as most of you know what is re-engineering, the fundamental rethinking and a radical redesign of business process to achieve dramatic improvements in critical contemporary measures of performance such as cost, quality, service, and speed. Re-engineering involves asking basic questions about business processes. Why do we do it? Why is it done this way? And so on and so forth. Now, this is another last part of this chapter, managing supply chain. Now, the suppliers. Now, what is supply? Now, this I would just give you to explore the concept of suppliers, supply chain management, and supplier certification, where suppliers include not only companies that provide materials and components, but also distributors, transportation companies, and information, healthcare, education providers. Supply chain management is based on three guiding principles, that is, recognizing the strategic importance of suppliers in accomplishing business objectives, particularly minimizing the total cost of ownership. B. Developing win-win relationship through long-term partnership rather than adversaries. C. Establishing trust through openness and honesty, thus leading to mutual advantage. And then the important point is the certification of supply chain, which talks about supplier certification process are designed to rate and certify suppliers who provide quality materials in a cost effective and a timely manner. So this is how many companies segment suppliers into categories based on their importance to business and manage them accordingly. So I can just run you through the certification, and this you can check it out for yourself. So students, this is the last I can take you for. Last, I would like to say thank you very much for being with me. I will be uploading the other videos. For now, I will be taking your leave. Thank you so much. Stay safe, be healthy, enjoy your life. Thank you very much.